Hello, welcome back to another episode of Bellwright Mods Edition. This is episode number 3. We've got 4 new, let's just say new-ish mods that we're going to go over that one kind of makes sense, two still kind of break the game in some ways, but for some people it's going to be one of those annoyances that can be fixed, or just the fact that it makes it a little bit easier to utilize books. And that's actually one of the first ones we're going to be going over. We have a stupid amount of books, just so many that we have compiled, and there's no way we could even if we had like armies of people, we just find so many books so often that it's insane the number of books we found. But as you know, a journeyman book. Well, wait, do we have? Let's see. There's the proficients. There's the experts. There's the apprentice books. All right. So let's go ahead and take one apprentice cooking book and apprentice crafting book. So as you can see, crafting, I'm actually pretty close to max level, and now an apprentice book isn't going to get me there. But, decent stats all the way around. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, pretty high skill there. We're going to go to that inventory. Crafting, here we go. So we're only going to get 500 experience from this. But when we read it, takes us, I believe it's 19 in-game hours. And can take a while just to read an apprentice crafting book. But instead, we are going to read this. So as you can see, it's going to boost us a little bit. But here takes 0 seconds. So instead of the massive amount of time it normally takes, we instantly get the experience. Bam. So, that particular mod is called Better Reading, I believe. No, Better Books. And it's gonna be one of those where you could consider it make or break. It's really kind of up to you how you determine. Me personally, maybe beginning game it makes sense. End game, not necessarily so much, unless I desperately want to have a twinked out main character for this. Now, what I will say is it would probably help immensely when you are in a situation like I was in my playthrough. Probably a couple episodes in the playthrough ago, where I couldn't get any of this done, any of this stuff, because I needed to be able to craft wool and so on, and you needed such a high skill to do that it wasn't possible. So that's Better Books. Not that big a deal, but I mean, could be to some. It's just up to your kind of playthrough. The next one I am going to go over is better reclamation or reduced reclamation parties. So, as you know, when you liberate a town, you get a liberation party that will come after you before you fully liberate a city or a town. Now, those stay the same size because you just took down their guards in the city. They are going to send a full force at you. But to be honest, it never made sense that the parties kept staying nearly the same size every single time they'd send a party after you. Especially just after a week. Like, how many people do they have in that place where they could send out a reclamation party every week or so that is massive and not run out of people in the kingdom? Like, I never got it. Now, based on what the mod says, you can adjust the size. So as you can see here, there are points tables to determining reclamation parties, and when you first claim any town fully liberated, it starts at a point cost of 11 negative or 11 points, puts you at that minus 10 threshold. That then allows the reclamation parties to start at 5, and this is after the liberation parties come to try to take back the town when you first take it. And so those parties are probably going to be a little bit bigger. But every reclamation party after that it's 5 people. So every week they're training 5 new people to send at you. And to be perfectly honest, I was never thrilled with that because as you go on through the game, your threshold gets, higher and higher for the amount of dislike that they have for you, which means eventually every single town will be dealing with a 24 soldier size of any combination every single time they send a reclamation party after you. And I don't know about you, that just doesn't seem realistic. Maybe in the fantasy game world, which is what we're playing in, but it was always very annoying to constantly have to build your party to combat that every so often, especially with that many coming at you every single time. And so what this does is it reduces the party point limit at each threshold, limiting parties to just one tier 1 melee unit. Yes, I know, extremely broken. However, it does say that while the current version sets all reclamation parties to a single unit, this can be adjusted as needed, creating larger parties. So if you wanted to, you could break it open and adjust the point size to something you think is more preferable, and I believe he goes into that either in the comment section or somewhere else in the mod itself. But yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense for reclamation parties because it's almost like they have this endless supply of people. Same with the bandits. I kind of wish that they wouldn't produce like 20 or 30 people at nighttime for the big bandit strongholds every single night. It just doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not complaining. I benefit from it because I kill a bunch of them and get items and renown, but either way. And it also makes it to where the villages can actually defend themselves if you go with the bare minimum of 1. You'll never have to worry about reclamation parties ever again if you're just so tired of going to every village defending them every single time. But obviously, player's choice, right? All right, moving on to the next part of the mod showcase here. Something called better crafting. So there are multiple speed choices you can take. From what I understand, some people were having issues even with the slowest of the fast moving creation. But we're just going to kind of give you an idea. So let's not do that. So right here, duration for a footman's helmet is 2 minutes 26 seconds. But for me, because of my crafting ability, goes down to 1 minute and 17 seconds. That's really not too bad there, right? But we're gonna install the mod, and then we're gonna see just how quick that goes. All right, so we've added the mod. Let's see what it looks like now. So it has basically halved the amount of time to craft the footman's hat now. So now it's 35 seconds as opposed to that 1 minute and I believe it was 12 seconds-ish. So what you're seeing here is even though we have specific abilities that will help reduce some of that time, same with the people here as well, this stuff will craft pretty quickly. And let me show you here. And you see that bad boy go? It is crafting super quick. You can determine how much quicker it crafts. There are four different speeds that you can choose from, and one just goes blazing fast. Plus, it also has an additional option you can choose, which is called endless fuel. Like, you put in one unit and that fuel never expires. I mean, that sounds great depending on your on how you play, right? And speaking of better crafting, we're on to our next mod, which is going to be the last one of the showcase. I'm only going to be doing 4. We've got a nice modding community for Bellwright, but it's not massive yet. We're still not out of early access for this, so not a surprise that we don't have modders coming out the woodwork. But the effort that the modders that are doing this for Bellwright are doing a great job. But the last of the mods is going to be Better Villagers Optimized Workflows. So what that means is it's going to take into account the fact that you can see right here crafting. My crafting ability is plus 45% a crafting speed and a 44% productivity buff. So basically it's going to go up 5% every level, right? Up to 50%, which isn't bad at all. But let's go ahead and check this guy out right here. His attributes for a level 5 farming: resource yield amount is 50%, productivity buff is minus 75%. So as you can see, he's max level. He's at 50%. And then if you were to look at researching, so they're all different based on the ability itself. So he has a 25% bonus to researching speed because he is at level 5. Now, if we were to add the mod, you are going to see those numbers change. Potentially a decent amount, potentially an insane amount. It really depends on what buff you download to utilize. Anywhere from a double to like a ×8 for everything. So let's go ahead and add that mod and take a look. All right, and the mod has been added. So now we are going to look at, let's see, there we go, attributes. So as you remember, we were looking at a 45% buff. We are now looking at a 217% crafting speed bonus. Insane, right? That's a large increase. So as you can see with all of the different attributes, they all have different bonuses. So as you can see, farming is massive. 6 out of 10, and I'm getting this massive resource yield amount. What that also means when you look at productivity buff is that planting these, because I planted them, they are actually going to grow faster. So it reduces the amount of time it takes to grow food, which, depending on how you play, that could be a huge deal or maybe a small deal. If you've got a small community, maybe like 4 or 5 people, obviously growing stuff ultra quick may not necessarily be the best way or necessary, but in some cases it's, I guess, just based on how you think the game should play for you, because that's what these mods are about, right? Is helping you determine the ability at which this game plays for you. But yeah, that's all for mods. Hope any of these will make your future playthroughs better. So like and subscribe for more content, and as always, I will see you in the next video.